What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dirty Degens. I am your degenerate host, Josh, and tonight I have a special show for you because we are diving into another chain that I think is going to perform exceptionally well this cycle, this year, and for the foreseeable future. Arguably better than other chains like ETH and so on and so forth as well. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. Before I get into it, though, I do want to bring up a little bit of Bitcoin, not much, just a smidgen. Oh, not like that. There we go. So Bitcoin is down at 107.6K. I did bring it up in the private sorry, excuse me. I did bring it up in my private Telegram this morning that I did think it was going to fall a bit today due to profit taking. There's a lot of profit taking across the board. I was going to go over a bunch of it, but I was near 40 tabs for this stream, so I decided to close it out. If you want to join into the private Telegram, Cast with the Sass did drop it into the chat. But before I get into other stuff, what's going on, Clifton? Nice to see you. Crazy Uncle, always love to see you. And of course, Cast with the Sass. She's right there. Always present, always supporting. And she works for free. Imagine that. Crazy. But let's go ahead and dive into it. The first thing I want to talk about is Big Red. And look at this, guys. X is broken today. X is literally garbage. It's literally trash. Elon paid $40 billion to make it garbage. Look, you can't. Oh, now it works. You can't search for. I haven't been able to search for like 2 days. I haven't gotten notifications in forever. Yeah. But anyways, Big Red does have a race on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. It's Lachlan Hanover, and he's actually got the third pole position, so it's a better starting position than it has been recently. I'm definitely going to be there watching the race, hanging out with the community, and all that. So you should definitely hop in there, hop in the Telegram, check out what it's all about. Big Red is no longer a meme coin. It is an RWA. If you missed my spiel on Big Red, you should go to last stream. I'm not going to do it again yet. But now let's go ahead and jump into Cardano because I got a lot of different things that I want to start paying, that I want to start going over. So, sorry, I'm reading chat halfway. Clifton asked, do I recommend the Ledger Nano X? You know, it's a fine wallet. I've got a couple of them, but I've got one right here. You know, it's perfectly fine. It's like 60, 70 bucks. So I actually have not updated mine to the new firmware where you can do the private key sharing and everything like that. But many people have no issues that I've heard of. I have a couple of them. I like them. I've bought them for other people. They're fine. I also use Tangem. I also use not Soulflare. I use, man, I've got so many wallets. Keystone. I have a Ledger Flex to check out. I've got this decent wallet to check out. I've got a ton of wallets actually to check out. I've got a couple here. So I've got 2 wallets here. There's one on my desk somewhere here. But the Nano X says 150 on their website. Let's check it out. Because I could swear. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. Can't type though. Oh, man, did they raise it? This one used to be like 80 bucks, 70 bucks or something like that, or 60 bucks. Like during a sale, you can get it for like 60 bucks. Yeah, I'm not thinking of this one because this is not the one that I have been buying. It is a fine product though. It's a totally fine product. I've got like 3 of them. But I do think if you're going to use it as a cold wallet, you can basically go for the S Plus. If you're going to use it often, you can go for the Nano X. And if you want to store many different assets on it, I'm not sure if they've upgraded the Nano S Plus to hold many different assets, but the Nano X, perfectly fine. There are cheaper alternatives, though, if you're just looking for a wallet that adds another layer of security and authentication. There are much cheaper wallets, like Tangem, for example. It's like 60 bucks with the discount code. You get 3 cards. It's dual authentication, cutting edge technology, encryption, all that. But I've got other wallets I like more, like the Keystone, which is higher than this price point. That's why I'm not bringing it up. So yeah, you could check out Tantrum. It's pretty sweet. I don't have a code or anything like that, but Cryptos R Us does have a code. So if you go to Cryptos R Us and you go into the links in the description, there's one for like $10 off or 10% off or something like that. So I should get a code. I can get a code. I'm the one that made the deal for Cryptos R Us. Anyways, though, yeah, Nano X is a good product. It's a good product. It's just a little expensive depending on what you're looking for, right? So that's about how I would sum that up. All right, now into Cardano, though, because I do think Cardano is going to have a huge surge this year, and not only this year, but this cycle and going forward, because we have many big things that are coming to Cardano. Cardano usually is slept on by a lot of people. It's always science first and like fun later, right? They haven't tried to bring a ton of dApps onto the chain. They haven't tried to attract a ton of major protocols or anything like that. But now they are finally starting to do something that can bring a lot of attention, especially with how it's being done and the way that this ecosystem is getting involved. And of course, I am talking about, well, before I get into that, like I said, I've got a ton of tabs. I forgot the order I put it in. But there is a major upgrade that is coming to Cardano here soon. And it is called the Ouroboros Leos upgrade. And it's essentially supposed to make Cardano the fastest blockchain in all of crypto and solve the blockchain trilemma. So just like 3 or 4 months ago, we saw the Cardano update, the Hydra update, and that already made it incredibly fast. People were playing Doom on it. That's how fast it was. Basically, everything was a transaction. You could play Doom. It's crazy. But now it's going to become even faster. And I do have, I had some data on it, but again, I was trimming stuff out. Stream was too long. And essentially, though, it's going to remain secure, decentralized, and the scalability is going through the roof. And that's what the blockchain trilemma is. And we can view that. And this is funny because it's Caspa. I don't like Caspa at all. But they did have a graphic that I was looking for. So I ran with it. But I do not think that Caspa solves the blockchain trilemma. Nobody uses Caspa. And I don't think it's decentralized either. But anyways, Cardano is claiming that this new upgrade will retain decentralization, improve security, and improve scalability. Not only that, Cardano is actually so decentralized that just the last like day or two ago, IOHK actually distributed millions of ADA to different validators so that Cardano would become even more decentralized. So that's great. Good to see. Cardano is actually factually one of the most decentralized chains in all of crypto outside of like Bitcoin, right? Especially when it comes to its validators and things like that. Because look at what happened recently with Sui, and I'm going to talk more about that later. Or like Solana. Solana has like 30 different validators, and all the other ones are non-existent, and they basically pay those validators to be involved. Solana validators are truly there at their own will and want to secure and participate in the ecosystem. They actually take part in governance votes, etc. If somebody doesn't partake, what the stakers end up doing is they leave that validator and go for a different one. It's a very interesting system how it's set up, and it has actually worked. But what hasn't worked is bringing so much volume to the chain itself. But it is increasing. We'll get to that. So Cardano the Leos upgrade, Cardano CEO Leos solves the blockchain trilemma. I just read the headline to you. And like I just explained to you, he breaks down that it solves the trilemma, and there's many projects that have claimed this in the past. I've never really agreed with any of them. I don't know if Cardano is truly going to solve the blockchain trilemma. We're going to have to see it in action till we can know what it is. But he says some, like Bitcoin, prioritize decentralization but struggle with scalability, while others, like Ethereum, have faced security issues in the pursuit of scalability. Cardano, however, has worked tirelessly and also peer-reviewed scientifically to develop a blockchain that delivers on all fronts. And this upgrade is supposed to tie them all together. Now, there hasn't been an update on when this upgrade is actually going to come, but there are hints that it's incredibly soon, very soon. So a lot of times blocks or transactions end up going laterally, right? Like this is how transactions happen. Whereas the new version that Cardano is doing scales much differently and works much differently. You have information being passed all around different nodes. So you can see that here, kind of how this will work, right? It's not going from one node to another, bouncing within those validators and out. This is bouncing between many. So of course that will be much faster because you have more free. But enough of that. That's the old news. What? Oh, free advertising for Ledger. Now, what I think is actually going to be incredibly big for Cardano, and a lot of people are going to sleep on this until it starts happening and actually being used more, because right now there's not a lot of DeFi action on Cardano. But Cardano is a UTXO blockchain. So basically, it's got the same build as Bitcoin in a way, right? And that makes it easy for Bitcoin and Cardano to basically join up, right? Whereas like Solana and Injective and Sui and all these other blockchains, they have to like build dedicated teams that are going to spend months trying to figure this out. Well, there's this IOHK and also Bitcoin OS. And what they're doing is they're working together so that they can basically integrate Cardano and Bitcoin together. And they want to bring in Bitcoin DeFi into the Cardano ecosystem. And that would be huge because this is one of the places where Cardano struggles the most. Number one would be stablecoins. Crap, I brought it up again. I guess some button does that. It's live, baby. But I forget what I was saying now. Oh, Cardano's got two problems. One is stablecoins, one is volume. Right? It's that simple. There's about $30 million of stablecoins locked up in Cardano, and there's not a whole lot of volume. Again, we'll look at this in a little bit. But the Bitcoin ecosystem is ever expanding. It's getting much larger constantly. There's Bitcoin layer 2s coming out. There's layer 1s that are utilizing Bitcoin for security, all sorts of things. But Cardano being one of the biggest chains in all of crypto and integrating Bitcoin and having a way, they've got a way that they're working on it so it's going to be completely seamless. And that is with Bitcoin OS and Charms. So essentially, it's going to mean that you can create a token and it will work on both Cardano and Bitcoin seamlessly. You won't have to bridge them over. You won't have to move a bunch of things around. You won't have to wait forever. Well, you might if you're doing it on Bitcoin. But on Cardano, you won't because it's incredibly fast. So this is going to be a big deal because they're already bringing essentially the wormhole into Cardano, but now they're creating a way for you to just make tokens or assets that are native to both chains. And that is going to be huge and make the user experience so much better. That's been one of the huge pain points for Cardano for so long, is just the hassle of using the ecosystem. I remember when I first started diving into altcoins in like 2020, 2021, Cardano was like one of the hardest things I ever did. Downloading Dautilus on my computer and trying to set it up so that it can connect to the nodes and everything, it took like 3 days because it has to download the entire blockchain. It was insane. My wallet was like 400 gigs, but now that it's getting much better and they're working out ways to bring other ecosystems into Cardano. And I think it's huge that not only do we have them doing that, but we have IOHK talking at the Bitcoin conference about how that's happening and about how Bitcoin holders can get involved in Cardano within the Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem. So that's a big deal. And it's a world stage. And arguably, this Bitcoin conference is going to be the largest that there's ever been, without a doubt. We have Bitcoin over 100K, 2 days in a row, all-time high. Got the Trump son speaking, the vice president speaking. It's going to be a big one. And IOHK is going to be front and center. So I'm also going to be there. I'll make sure that I check it out. I can drop you guys info. But my private Telegram that's in the comments, or well, it's in the comments too, but in the description below, we'll get all the man on the ground information first. Now, aside from that, like I was mentioning, a big pain point for Cardano is its wallets and its wallet ecosystem. And not only that, its mobile wallet ecosystem, which has gotten better over like the past year or so, but could still use a little bit of improvement. Vesper is here to save the day. So what they want to do is they want to focus on a mobile first approach that is feature packed with a friendly user interface that anybody can use. A lot of times Cardano products are built for like the tech genius. They're very complicated. But finally, somebody that builds within the Cardano ecosystem wants that to change. But Vesper also has an interesting note at the bottom here that you can see. They want to become the #1 Bitcoin wallet. That's how serious the Cardano ecosystem is taking this Bitcoin integration. So definitely pay attention to that. I have Vesper wallet on my phone. I haven't used it in forever. It wasn't so great when I downloaded it, but now I am going to pay attention to see if they do it right and if they actually make it user-friendly. And hey, they're on the way to become one of the top Bitcoin wallets. I do have other Bitcoin wallets that are Bitcoin specific, and they suck. But also Phantom has not recently, for a while now, has had Bitcoin integrated. So I bet there are tons of Bitcoin holders or whatever that are holding it now on Phantom instead, unless they're holding it on a cold wallet. Personally, I hold it on a cold wallet. Like I don't think I would ever do DeFi with Bitcoin. It's just not my thing, but there are a lot of people that will. So it's a good thing. Definitely a good thing. Now, another good thing that's coming for Cardano that everybody is talking about many different projects is the ETFs. Now, Cardano is expected to get an ETF, but not only that, Polymarket, which has been right on basically everything that they put out somehow, has a 69% chance of having the ETF this year. So that would obviously be a major catalyst, only if it's a spot ETF. I don't care about these futures ETFs. They do nothing. Not a fan. Like the XRP one, it was all hyped up that they were getting a futures ETF, and it was basically flat on its face. Nobody cared about that. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Sorry, dry throat. Now, another promising sign that Cardano is going to see, let me shut this off, is going to see a good surge here. This is open interest. And we can see basically since April, the beginning of April, open interest has been climbing. What is open interest? Open interest is how many people are opening leverage positions on Cardano or on any project. If I covered Bitcoin earlier, I was going to talk about open interest in that too, because it's actually an all-time high. But seeing this open interest on Cardano, and if you look at it in other ways, I didn't want to bore everybody, it's like largely to the upside that people are betting. Now, it's typically bad to follow the crowd, but when you're at numbers like $1 billion, that means that it's major whales that are betting on these positions, not retail, right? And you typically follow the whales. So that's a good sign. And like I mentioned, we also have stablecoin volume rapidly increasing on Cardano. And that's really about it. TVL is still kind of working its way up there also since that early April timeframe, but it's definitely been higher. They've been at 700 million, but you have to figure when it considers TVL and Cardano, it also considers something else, which is this, that apparently wants me to verify again. So 59% of the Cardano supply is staked. And that is crazy. And it's been that way for years. The Cardano community is diamond hand holders. They're just not really diamond hand ecosystem participators. They're definitely diamond hand holders and diamond stakers though. And this is why we see the weird TVL here and it looks like it's really low, because since so much of the supply is staked, this TVL really just moves with the price of Cardano, since the DeFi ecosystem is so small. Like we have under 35 million of stablecoins locked up. We have 31.43 million in stablecoins on the chain. So that's incredibly small. Now, when it's something like Solana basically Solana, where the stake supply isn't so high, they have a ton of DeFi volume, ton of stablecoins. You can look at the TVL a little bit more naturally. But this TVL chart is essentially Cardano's price chart, basically. So yeah, it's not too big of a deal. But having 59% of your holding or of your total circulating supply staked is crazy. They have the highest ratio than any chain out there. And they also have some great projects on there too. BABYSNEK is one that I've been following for quite a while. I brought it up on Alpha First or Cryptos R Us Plus quite a while ago when it was sub $1 million. They ran up to about 9-10 million. I've talked about them recently as well. They're currently at 3.5, but they did just launch their mining RWA asset, which is an NFT, but they're getting that ball rolling. So they've got $113,000 sent off to the mining facility. They've got all the docs signed. They're waiting for everything to get starting. They bought 11 Antminer S21s and 3 L9s to mine Litecoin and Doge. And they deposited 30% of the funds for electricity up front. So that basically means for the first few months, until that money is used up, all those NFT holders and whatnot get full profit because it's all paid for. But once that electricity is used up, 70% of the profit, 70% of the revenue will go towards profit and 30% will be used for electricity. So they're saying, though, that this isn't going to start happening for about 6 or 8 weeks, but sometimes it happens much sooner, like a week. Now, since they do have, now, mind you, these miners are very expensive, but 11 and 3 is not a large quantity, right? So since they do have a smaller number, it could happen in like a week or so. Matthew Fiesel asks, put a long limit order at around 0.72. Do I think it'll go lower? I'll check it out after. We can check it out now. Screw it. Let's see. So we currently have Cardano at 0.74. You said at 0.72. That is our moving average here. If Cardano were to go lower, it would be around, I don't think it'll go lower than 0.72. Looking at the chart just quickly, that would be quite shocking. I don't see it dropping down to like 0.64 again or anything like that. We would have to have a major event to start breaking these moving averages, and I don't see that happening. The tariffs are about as bad as they're going to get. The bullcrap FUD that already came out with Charles and Cardano, I guess it probably had a small impact, but not a huge one. So I don't think that we're going to see it drop below the moving average. AYC 19, what's up, bro? Put your buy in at 73 cents. Nice. But yeah, I think that we'll bounce off of this line here around 72, 73 cents. It's basically at 72.9. So basically 73 cents. We'll probably bounce off there because, as you can see, we've got one touch there. I mean, it wicked below it, but does that count? Ever since we crossed it. So if we think that the most important moving average is going to hold, which I do, unless we have a major market drop, then yeah, 73 cents is where I think it'll go to. Now, back to this and how this works, the BABYSNEK mining, because I think it's cool. They've got different staking tiers. So in order to get your rewards from the NFTs, what's up, Camera Wall? Long time no long time no see. It is the mother effing Dirty Degens, brother. Happy Friday. So with these NFTs, though, they have staking tiers because in order to accumulate your rewards, you must stake the NFT. So if you choose to stake it for 4+ weeks, you get 100% of the reward. So think that's your baseline, right? These are the people who are diamond hands, not trying to flip it, etc. And then you got 2 to 3 weeks, 80%, 0 to 1 week, 60%. And now they're saying they may also add additional bonuses if people decide to stake it for a longer period of time. So think like, a year or whatever, right? That could be good. So if you've got faith and you're holding the project for long term, why not? And also, unfortunately, I don't think I got one, but I do have a lockable. So if you have a tier 3 lockable, which mine I believe is, you get a free NFT. So if you do have a tier 3 lockable, make sure you check your wallet, and here you go. You'll receive a free baby snakelet, which can be immediately staked. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. And not only that, for the last 30 days, BABYSNEK has essentially outperformed the market in terms of Cardano, except for Bodega and Strike. Strike is a derivatives market, and Bodega is a prediction market. So arguably, those are real products, which now that BABYSNEK is coming out with real products and has been for quite a while, I wouldn't call them so much of a meme coin anymore. They're kind of going on the path of like Big Red. They're an RWA that's a meme and a meme at heart, but they're truly an RWA. And big, as you can see, Snek or BABYSNEK is having a great little run up here, and I definitely think they'll get back up to that 10 mil market cap area, and then it's blast off season for them. Now, there are a couple others I do want to bring up that are on Cardano that I haven't talked about before, but I've been watching for a long time. Now, the Cardano meme ecosystem is incredibly small. There's like not many tokens even get launched. If you look at, like, let's look at this. It's pretty crazy. If you look at Cardano on Dex Screener anyways, and you try to sort the age backwards, they're saying 21 days, 1 month, 2 month, 2 month, 3 month. If this is accurate, tokens are never being launched on Cardano, basically. So these tokens have been around for quite a while. That would arguably say they're not going to be rugged. And one of those is NIKEPIG. NIKEPIG, this one's interesting. As you can see, the chart looks terrible, but it's actually not bad. They had a huge peak where they ran up to like 23 million, 22 million, and then they came down at the bottom here, basically right above launch, and then they had another leg up. They're coming down. This bottom or this level is higher than the last. Then they'll have another surge up, maybe this time to like 10 mil. Then they'll probably come down, set another floor. I like how the chart's looking. The volume's pretty bad, though. So not a lot of people are active in that DeFi ecosystem over there, even though you've got a 2.7 million market cap. That's pretty crazy. So that goes to show you. But the thing about NIKEPIG, and if we think about like Base or Solana and all these other ones, like on Base, for example, you have Toshi, which is Brian Armstrong's cat. And I know there's one on Solana too. Unfortunately, I can't remember Anatoly's dog's name or whatever. And then on BNB, you have Broccoli. So, right, Nike is Charles Hoskinson's pig. This big, beautiful, fat pig is Charles Hoskinson's pig. So this basically follows that same storyline where it's, you know, the founder's animal. They've got figured out its name. It's got 5,600 holders. So not too shabby for a meme coin on Cardano. And they've got a pretty decent and basic Twitter and website. Their Twitter, last I checked, does get okay action. This is not the right Twitter account, I don't think. Maybe it is, but they still get good action. They got like 1,000 interactions, considering they have 157 followers. That's pretty bad, but doesn't matter. It's Cardano. The community is massive, but the ecosystem community is tiny. So yeah, but I'm bullish on NIKEPIG. I think this one will have another good run up. The lore is there. The story is there. It's been around for like 10 months. So it's got the lifespan in it. It's very relatable to Cardano itself. So yeah, keep your eyes on NIKEPIG. If you've got spare Cardano sitting around that you don't know what to do with, maybe check it out. NFA, not financial advice. I don't know anything. I'm just a dude in a robe that talks about meme coins on the internet. So yeah, now what I want to talk about is cock. You guys want to talk about some cock? Now, cock is one of the top volume projects or meme coins on Cardano. And that is why I'm paying attention to this cock. Because not only does it have the most volume, but think about how popular cock is. I'm not talking about the one in your pants. I'm talking about the one on Avalanche, right? It's very recognizable. So it makes sense that this cock also takes off. You know, this cock is going to get some love too, I think. Now, the chart is terrible. So if you're buying this, it's complete degeneracy. but there is actually volume on it. The liquidity pool is incredibly thin, under 10%. So this will move aggressively. But let's check it out. This is one aggressive cock. Make sure you keep your cock out of the way if you're playing with this one, because it is going to be violent. Now, they got a picture of a big cock here. That's about it. That's all you can see. At the top, we got mission, tokenomics, swap, flock, team, fact, tap tools, dex hunter, arena, engage, staking, casino. Okay. I'm not going to read this cock mission because, come on, we all know the mission of cock. So they had a pre-sale. 50% went to pre-sale, 30% to LP, 15% to treasury, 5% or 4% to team, and 1% to airdrop. Not too shabby. The cockonomics. You just got the breakdown right there. So pretty big pre-sale, but arguably all them Jeters are already out. So that's a benefit for us here that want to hold a little bit of cock. And then they've got a MemeFi PvP DeFi game. I've actually known about this for a while. I have not checked to see, however, if it is out. Looks like maybe it is. Arena. Can I fight? Oh, I wanted to. It's the Cock Fight Club. Nice. Nice. That's illegal in some parts of the world. Got a swap on here. Overall, it's a pretty clean website. Got a doxed dev, founder, whatever, voice. Whales have cocks too. I don't want to read all that. But yeah, they're listed on MEXC already, WeX. Cool. Some exchanges. That's a different topic. But yeah, I mean, I've been paying attention to this one. Projects with volume are obviously what you want to pay attention to. I don't think that rules out like BABYSNEK and stuff like that. But the fact that it has volume, people are paying attention to it and actively trading it does tell a lot. So let's see if Cock's got a good hand on its Twitter. They got 11.6 thousand followers. Quite a few followers that I know too. They got a cocky food trailer where they sell chicken wings, which seems very cannibalistic or something. Yeah, that's a little fucked, messed up. Cock wings. But they're also one of the top performers, like I said, because they got all that volume. That's why they're performing. They're trending better than Snek, Hosky, Dog, Gator, BABYSNEK. The Chad meme coin's weird. It kind of scared me. That's why we're not talking about it. But overall, their engagement's good. You know, got a couple thousand impressions and such on each tweet. So yeah, if you're holding a Cardano bag, maybe you want to hold some cock too. It's not a hit on Cardano holders either. But that is enough of Cardano, because something crazy this week happened to Sui. And yeah, Clifton, tell me about this cock. I can't take this one seriously. Matthew's laughing. Have you guys enjoyed it? I'm not a great comedian, but I definitely talk about some cock. So there was something crazy that's happened this week. If you guys didn't watch my video yesterday, I'll fill you in a little bit. Basically, the top DEX and top liquidity provider on Sui was hacked. They had a smart contract vulnerability. Somebody got into it, stole like $230 million, made it away with about 160 million. And then Sui had the validators basically agree to freeze those funds. And Cetus locked up the smart contract so that no more transactions could be made. Liquidity pools were drained and everybody is screwed. It's basically that simple. And here Cetus says that they're working diligently to recover those funds. They have put out a massive $5 million bounty. And not only that, an offer to the hacker to just give the funds back. And here's $5 million. You'll be happy and we'll be on our way. But the hacker doesn't want to play ball. Imagine that. He made it away with 60 million. He's already got like all of it laundered. 5 million is chump change to him, and he probably doesn't think he'll be caught. But what upsets me about this is two things. One, Cetus being on Sui as long as they have and launching or being the home of some of the largest LP pools on Sui, and not only that, being a top 10 DEX in all of crypto, while they only function on Sui, they've got money. Now, they don't want to eat this. We saw this several months back with another project on Ethereum. It was Monkey Shit in You. And they launched on a launch pad. The launch pad got hacked. All the LPs got pulled. And they basically said, oh, figure it out. When they had the money to give it back, ruined all those projects. And now we're essentially going to see the same thing here on Sui. Because Cetus, even though I'm pretty positive they should have this money, they don't want to take a loan or just pay it out of their own pocket. Instead, what they're asking to happen is for the Sui ecosystem and the validators to put forth a vote and an upgrade to essentially reverse those transactions. The complete opposite of decentralization. And I'm not sitting here to cry about decentralization or anything like that, but just take care of your community and your ecosystem. You've got the money to do it. You should do it and then figure it out later. I don't like this approach from them at all. I know a few days ago before the hack happened, I was like, oh, Cetus, like, hey, this could be a good token. Maybe not, because apparently they don't have true care about their ecosystem. They don't believe in like what they can do or their products so much that they'll shell out this money and just fix the ecosystem that essentially they screwed up. Not only that, if you do go back like a year or so ago, there were people in the community that were saying, hey, you guys have vulnerabilities. And they're like, oh, no, you don't. Or no, we don't. You're wrong. This is not true. And it's all right. We've checked it multiple ways. And that's what got exploited. So obviously they never really cared that much. And that really turns me off. So until Cetus decides to make this like proper, I'm not going to use any pool that's on Cetus. Screw Cetus until they fix it. They need to come out and right this wrong that they oversaw it. And it's that simple. So yeah, that's the latest on the Cetus hack and Sui and what's going on there. But Metacade is another project I do want to talk about, because I've been talking about Metacade since before this channel, but since the very first episode on this channel. And since then, it's up like 250% or so. And I think it's going to keep on going. In the last month alone, it's up 105%. So, and that's not even like all-time high, right? That's just from down here to up here. Like it was over 40% or 40 cents, 4 cents, I apologize, for like half a day. But still, it was up there. You could have sold. But they have a lot of big things coming. Most recently, what they did was I didn't open it up. I closed tabs. Most recently, what they did, though, is the Clubcade, which I am a part of. It's just like basically a community within Metacade that is content creators, and that's it. It's a marketing arm of Metacade. Unpaid or anything like that. They do have rewards and stuff, but they haven't actually started rolling any of that out yet. What they are going to do is soon, probably next week or so, is they're going to release like how the community is actually going to work. So that's a big deal for Metacade, because that's going to be a massive marketing arm and exposure. And they were actually today featured on Crypto Banter. So that was interesting. Cool. But outside of that, Russ is at the Avalanche Summit. So he spent 2 days there networking with the projects there. They've got a huge funnel play, whatever that means. Now, typically, if you think about marketing and funnels, what that means is you're going to attract people and funnel them into your offering, right? So in this case, Metacade, or the tournaments, or maybe gangs of Metacadia, or whatever, right? Obviously, Metacade's moving in the right direction. And like I mentioned, Clubcade is live and I am onboarded. So great. Big things coming from Metacade. But he also mentioned there's something coming that's going to blow the top off the funnel. So he's got a big plan, maybe a big partnership, and it's going to bring a lot of attention to Metacade. Now, there was a tweet like early this week about a secret meeting that was overheard for Metacade from the Metacade intern, and he was going to leak it if it got to 300 likes or whatever. That still hasn't, the 300 likes were obtained, and Russ said that the news was going to come soon. So we still haven't heard what that huge leak is. And it's probably this. So very soon here, we should be getting a massive announcement for Metacade. Very soon here, the Coinbase wallet's going to be upgraded, and they're going to feature the 6 different app chains that they backed. And Metacade is one of those 6 app chains. So I definitely think Metacade is going much, much, much higher. We currently have Metacade at $30 million. I think when the Coinbase wallet goes live, that has millions of users and Metacade is right there front and center, it's easy 100 million quickly. Now, I'm not going to give like timelines or anything, but I do think it's very easy for Metacade to obtain that because they're not a single game that like somebody has to buy and learn and all of that, right? You guys have seen me check it out. If not, there's videos on this channel, but they're simple games that anybody can pick up and play in a couple minutes, right? It's like Temple Run and Flappy Bird and all your stuff like that. So it's going to be very easy and people like that stuff. That's why Candy Crush is at the top of the charts for the last 15 years, right? Now, there are some other things I do want to talk about, mostly because they made me laugh, and it is my channel, so that matters. But Trump and the meme coin dinner that happened last night, it was a big deal, right? Everybody was talking about it. The Congress wanted to shut it down. They said it was a security risk. They're saying it's unconstitutional because you're essentially paying people off, and yeah, it's all over the place. But like I called from the very beginning, Trump was barely there. He was there to say hi to everybody, and then apparently he basically left. So there was an empty podium for the president, and it was a bunch of crypto nerds sitting around and having dinner with each other. It's like your typical crypto conference. Can't wait to do that again next week. Yeah, definitely probably with better food. I'm going to agree with that. But there is more because you can't have a Trump meme coin dinner without a little bit of excitement, right? And that excitement, oh, yeah, this is hilarious too. Most Trump crypto dinner VIPs have moved or dumped their coins. Of the top, I think it was top 21 holders. Where is it here? I'm trying to find it. Oh, here we go. Just 8 of the top 25 VIP holders retained their balance the day after the dinner. So basically 75% of them sold off, you know, and I don't know. I think that's funny because they actually all thought that Trump was going to be there and hang out with them. And like, they were going to ask him, so what altcoin are you backing or something stupid? I don't know what they thought they were going to get out of it. But Justin's son is super proud that he's the top holder. Other than that, though, obviously, like I mentioned, U.S. House members are calling for an investigation into Trump's meme coin dinner because of all the various reasons and laws they think it breaks. I think it's just hilarious that this is the world we live in now. But like I mentioned, you can't have a Trump meme coin dinner without a little bit of excitement. So somebody from the dinner, during the dinner, decided to launch a meme coin on Solana on Pump Fund and was sending videos of them being there and everything. And then what's hilarious is the token dumped. It got to like 400K market cap, dumped down to like 7,800K or so. And they were like, hey, I'm going to burn, because they had 10% of the supply, and that upset a lot of people. So they were like, I'm going to burn half the supply. I'm going to send it to the Trump token deployer wallet address, right? Like whoever deployed that's not going to touch it. So it's fine. They sent it to themselves. So they did send 5% of the supply, but they sent it to themselves. And once people caught on to that, it just dumped the rest of the way. And that's all I really want to talk about with Trump because it just made me laugh. But what I do want to talk about other than that is Moonpig, because I've been bringing up Moonpig for a bit. I brought it up a few days ago and it just keeps running. So it's up pretty big. Since Wednesday's stream, it's up like 200%. Oh, I had it pulled up. And I do think that this has a strong chance to be a multi-$100 million market cap project. I mean, just look at this chart. It's crazy. And then we brought it up on Wednesday. So that was the 21st. Let's just say we brought it up at the top of this candle here. I mean, it went up 274%, but you know, now it's at 135% since Wednesday. Not too shabby. And that's saying that we did the top of the candle. And that's probably about right because that's right around the close. So that's probably right. Crazy move if you got in for sure. So congratulations if you did. I think that they've still got a lot of good coming. They're not listed on a ton of exchanges. There's still a new project. So definitely continue to keep your eyes on Moonpig. Solana doesn't have a lot of good stuff on it anymore. It's a lot of pump and dumps and things like that. So the ones that really catch on and catch fire, they're going to do it. Also, Chuck has been killing it. This is also on the daily chart. It's been like a month, this whole month, that Chuck is just on fire every single day. I'm supposed to do a show with somebody from Chuck here soon. It's actually supposed to become a weekly show. So that was supposed to happen today, but instead you guys are stuck with just me. Apologize. But yeah, really like what Chuck has going on. Strong community, really bullish on Chuck. They've been one of the top gainers on base this month. They've hit almost $28 million or so, and I think they can definitely do it again. Other than that, guys, that's about all I got. You guys want to ask any questions or anything? I'm all game. Otherwise, I'll shut her down and let you guys have your Friday evening. About this, watch the Stars win this hockey game. I love hockey. I haven't been following it though since the Blackhawks got out. I paid $100 a month just to watch the Blackhawks suck ass. They're so bad. But I'll probably watch the Cup. As long as it's not the Cup right now. Shit, is it? No, I think it's still the playoffs. Yeah, it's still the playoffs. Oh, so if the Stars win tonight, they take it home. Carolina always chokes in the playoffs. Is it the... No, it's still the... It's still the Western Conference. Dallas versus Edmonton 1-0, right? Florida versus Carolina is 2-0 Florida. Dallas versus Edmonton 1-0. So shouldn't be. Yeah, in the playoffs, yeah. I'll watch the final. The Knights the Vegas Knights are out. Blackhawks are out. So I stopped watching. But big hockey fan. Love hockey. What's Benny all about? Are you talking about that meme coin on base? Benji, I think. I'm assuming we're talking about Benji. Clifton says, I'm from Dallas, so went to a few games last year. Really been in the start since. Nice. Yeah, I want to go. I've only been to like farm league games. I grew up right by Chicago's farm league. Now I'm pretty close to like the Chicago Wolves, and it's always a pain in the ass to go downtown to Allstate or to the Blackhawks Stadium. So I haven't really gone there, but I would want to. I'm close enough. I hate traffic and people. That's why I'm on the internet so much. But Benji, I've looked at Benji a ton, actually. I want to zoom way out. It's been around for a while. Yeah, it always has these huge peaks and crashes back down super fast. They did break 100 mil, but their last high was lower, so that's a little bit concerning. But man, it's got $20.8 million market cap. BABYSNEK. I don't like that. The dog of base chain. You know, it's probably fine. It's probably a good project, but the only dog I stand behind on base is Chuck. So, oh, this is a real dog breed. Okay, that's interesting. It's kind of cool. And they yodel. Oh, weird. Can I hear the Benji yodel? I'm gonna listen to it after stream. They've got a Certic audit. It is a cool looking dog. I agree. They're on a bunch of exchanges. No tier ones though. Arguably the biggest exchange that they're on would be Gate.io. They're on Revolt. Interesting. Revolt's getting bigger. They do charity. They say CoinMarketCap is a partner because they're liars. CoinGecko's also not a partner. They're liars. And then these are just places they're listed. Those aren't partners. None of those were partners except for, I guess, the charity. So charity focused, dog meme coin. But I will give it to him. It's kind of clever. I didn't know there was a dog breed named BABYSNEK. So that's pretty cool. I'll give him that. That's pretty cool. But I bet nobody in the world has heard of this dog breed. Like, nobody knows this. The oldest dog breed in history. Really? We're going to test that. Yeah. Where'd my grok button go? Oh, crap. What'd I do? I turned on autoclick. What happened to grok? I agree. They need to add a button to the website that plays the yodel. That would have been so cool. That's a huge oversight. One of the oldest dog breeds in the world. As far as 5,000 years ago. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I'll give them that. They got 34,000 followers. Pretty good activity here. Pretty good distribution. 81% of the supply are in their bottom, outside of their top 10. That's 82%. That's really good distribution. There was this other website I was going to bring up tonight if we did decide to check out some random meme coins. This one will probably be totally fine, but I'll pull it up anyways. Let's see. Or wait, it's not Token Sniffer. It's Trenchbot, yeah. Oh, Trenchbot. I've used this before, but I forgot about it. There's so many tools. So this is like a bubble maps and a bundle checker all in one. So all the bundles have been sold on this. So that's good. It was bundled, but not anymore. I keep doing that. Also, guys, just so you know, I do have a $100 giveaway going on in the Telegram community for hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it looks like soon I'm already going to have to do another one for 2,000 subscribers because, yeah, during the stream I broke over 1,500. So Gonna have to do another one here soon after that. That one runs until the 2nd of June. The next one I'll probably let it run for like a month or something. But hey, if we can break 2,000 or so this month, that'd be insane, because that means the first month I got like 800-900 followers, the second month, or subscribers, and then the second month over double that. That'd be crazy. If I can even double it, that'd be insane. So yeah, definitely join the Telegram and join the giveaway. It's free to join. Not asking for anything. You'll only have to send me a wallet address if you win. Bubble Maps looks pretty solid on Benji here. A lot of connected wallets, but they've done a lot of different things, so it also makes sense. I'm not going to give it too much of attention to that, really, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I like it, but I like Chuck more. I don't like how their peaks go. They can't really hold it all. Notice that they're still at the same level. They have not created a higher floor. They just trade at the same level with crazy spikes and right back down to it. So they're not really, they have a lot of profit takers. So if you do buy it, I would suggest setting price alerts and being ready to sell if you can't sell set limit orders. That'd be my opinion. That's what I would do if I wasn't trying to hold it long term. I do like Chuck more, though. Chuck has a lot more upside potential as well. Clifton, you got a picture now. You bought some Moonpig the other day, already up on your returns. Yeah, man. If you bought it when I was talking about it on Wednesday, you should be up over 100%. So good stuff, man. Congrats. Love to hear that. That's what we like to hear. Unfortunately, Little Puff was doing really good, and then it basically retraced to where it was when I brought it up. So you would have had to already sell it for that one. But Moonpig has been doing really solid. I could have just clicked on it there. I mean, it's down today, but like, look at this run. This run is just madness. Like, peaked out at 125 mil. Bullish on Moonpig. What's crazy is Moodang also had a 30% pump today, or yesterday, or both, because it was listed on Robinhood. So Robinhood has that pump power. Other than that, guys, we're an hour in Friday night, so I don't want to steal too much of your time. I appreciate you guys all coming in and hanging out with me. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to try to do a stream tomorrow, probably in the morning if I do it, but at some point I'm going to try to. Otherwise, have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.